The state of Kansas faces a shrinking number of attorneys. The Sunflower State has just under 8,000 active practicing attorneys, and the vast majority of them live in metro areas. That means a bigger workload for rural attorneys, many who are getting close to retirement. It's a disturbing trend that recently forced the state Supreme Court to take a closer look. In part 2 of my special report, I dig deeper into the problem and potential solutions.
So I was that strange 3-year-old that turned to mom and dad and said, I'm going to be a lawyer.
A dream Angela Myers says she never gave up, nurtured by her middle school teacher and inspired by local judges.
Judge Nolan would always let me come watch court.
Meyer has been in the courtroom since she was a kid.
As a kid, thinking, well, this is what lawyers are like. Of course I want to do this because they're helping people and they're so invested in what somebody says and how they represent their client and what that client wants to have happen.
Today, Angela Meyer practices family law in Pittsburgh, in the same county she grew up in.
And then he was in a Civil War veterans group.
She's also part of a bigger project, the Kansas Rural Justice Initiative Committee, focused on turning the tide on a statewide attorney shortage.
We definitely have a rural attorney crisis in Kansas where there's not enough of us. The statistics of lawyers to population ratio is higher than in metro areas.
It's a problem that's led to a heftier workload for attorneys like Meyer, and even overcrowding issues in some county jails. Crawford County Sheriff Danny Smith says his jail broke a record last summer, housing 140 inmates in a facility designed with 108 beds. Sheriff Darren Eisinger says Labette County is still teetering at capacity with around 84 inmates. And while the Cherokee County Jail has room to spare, Sheriff David Grove says the time between check-in and check-out for inmates has slowed down.
When they're initially arrested, they're held here either until their trial or if they're allowed to post bond. So if they don't post bond, then they stay until their court case is adjudicated, which can be, we have the person that we've been holding the longest at this point has been here for 656 days.
We're going to talk about empowering women.
Kansas Supreme Court Chief Justice Marla Lukert signed an order creating the committee last December. She stopped in Pittsburgh earlier this month to talk about female leaders in the state. The Chief Justice grew up on the rural western Kansas border before attending law school at Washburn University. She says the price of a law degree is a big factor adding to the attorney shortage. Washburn has already partnered with Pitt State in a 3x3 program, allowing students to complete their bachelor's and law degree in 6 years. And Washburn law students can also join the school's Third Year Anywhere program.
You can finish your last year of law school anywhere, or you take your classes remotely. But it gives you a leg up in the practice of law because you're interning somewhere.
An internship that could lead future attorneys to Southeast Kansas who are ready to hit the ground running.
We're getting a Board of Indigent Defense Services offices at some point. My understanding it's been funded. I think it's in the works. So Public Defender's Office. I think that's supposed to hopefully alleviate some of that need, is to be able to have attorneys that are hired full-time and that's all they do.
Having defense attorneys that are willing to be court-appointed defense attorneys is really important to move the process along, the criminal justice process along. And when we have a shortage like we are currently experiencing, it just delays that process even more.
Is there more than one solution to this, and how do we kind of make an all-inclusive plan that says if you don't like this piece, then you can like this piece, and either way we get attorneys in rural areas?
The latest challenge, meeting the legal needs rural Kansas deserves. Well, details are still pending for the new public defender's office coming to Pittsburgh, and Meyer says it's just one of the legislative proposals the 35-member Rural Justice Initiative Committee plans to make reality before the group finishes in 2024.